Hey guys, DField here, and welcome back to Minecraft Storytime. We are back on Arcadian MC. How are you guys all doing today? Now, I am a little bit nasally today, so every so often, you guys are just gonna hear this on the microphone, because I'm currently drinking some tea. Now guys, I don't know why, but over the past couple of days, over the past couple of weeks actually, I've kind of just been experimenting with different tea flavors to see which one I like the most. And you know what? It's paying off, because to be honest with you, man, tea is pretty good, dude. Tea is actually very, very, very good. I don't know what it is about tea, but like, you know, it's a nice flavor. It's not too strong. You know, there's no natural sweeteners about tea, and it's just really, really freaking good, man. Gush. What the frick am I freaking saying? Oh my gosh. But anyways, guys, welcome back to Minecraft Storytime. I hope you guys are having a good day today. I am just I'm relaxing today, and I decided that today was a day for me to tell another story here on the Minecraft Storytime series. So welcome back, guys. Sit back, relax, grab some food, grab some hot cocoa, grab some whatever, grab a snack, and sit back and listen to today's story. So today, I was kind of debating, I was contemplating on what story I should tell that I haven't ever told yet, or maybe that not everybody has told yet, ever, or what am I saying? I was debating on whether or not to tell a story that I've never told before, or tell a story that I've, you know, some people might have heard before in the past, in past series or whatever it may be, and tell it. And I was looking through the comment section of the last video, and I actually saw a couple of comments about this topic, and it's kind of relevant. You know, it's one of those things that kind of just go off of sort of like the last video. But anyways, guys, I want you guys down in the comment sections below to leave me a suggestion, a comment as to what you guys want me to tell stories on in the future. So if you guys want me to tell stories or certain advice or whatever it may be, leave it down in the comment sections below, because I'll probably pick one of your guys' stories. I'm not gonna lie, for future story times in the future. But anyways, I saw a couple of comments pertaining to this, and I decided that today we are gonna talk about it. So for those of you guys who don't know, as my last video told you guys, I moved to the US when I was 6. Now, for those of you guys who, you know, kind of grew up in the US, a lot of you guys have barely, or a lot of you guys have may not have even moved once in your life. You guys have lived in one place for your entire life, your entire childhood, and that is just not the case for me. Now, growing up, I knew a lot of the same types of people as you guys, kind of, you know, staying in one town, staying in one state, staying in one area, and, you know, maybe staying in one house for their entire childhood. So you guys are kind of just growing up and knowing everybody. Oh my gosh, that tea is so good. I'm drinking some herbal tea right now. But anyways, so for those of you guys who have been through that, or, you know, who kind of grew up like that, where you didn't really move, you guys, you know, you kind of knew every single person that you went to school with. You guys kind of knew all your neighbors. You guys kind of knew, you know, people in your neighborhood, and you guys kind of just grew up with them and made relationships and bonds with them. Now, my story today is gonna kind of go to the fact that I, as a child, moved a total of 14 times. If I counted correctly, I moved a total of 14 times, and probably lived in a total of about, I think, 3 or 4 different states as I grew up. Now, you guys might, you know, as you guys can probably imagine, this was kind of rough on me for the most part. My dad, the reason why we moved a lot, it's not because of anything terrible or anything, but my dad worked for a company in which the company was opening new branches in new states every couple of months, or every year or so. So when I was a child, my dad was like getting moved from New York. We were getting moved to other different locations, and obviously as a family we moved together so that we could support my dad, as my dad was like, you know, our main source of income. So anyways, I moved a total of 14 times in my entire childhood. Now, that might not seem like a lot to you guys. Actually, that actually probably is a lot to some of you guys who have never moved. But from the bottom, or from the start, I lived in New York, I lived in New Jersey, I lived in Massachusetts, I lived in Rhode Island, and then I lived in Illinois. For those of you guys that know, that's currently where I'm staying right now. Now, that does sound like only a little bit, but do note that during that time, you know, within any given state, I would move anywhere from around 3 to 4 to 5 times. Now, sometimes, you know, it was because my mom didn't like the place we were staying. Sometimes it was because we were living in an apartment and, you know, there were better deals around town. And, you know, my childhood was really, really freaking weird because of that, guys. Like, I literally went to probably about 5 or 6 different elementary / middle schools, and it wasn't until we moved to Illinois back in like 2006 or maybe 2007, I don't really know the exact dates, is when I kind of finally got to have a stable group of friends. Now, it was very rough for me when I was growing up because obviously I didn't really have a group of friends that I always knew, that I always grew up with. It was literally me trying my best to make friends and trying my hardest to just be out there so that I had a small group of friends within every single community or every single school that I went to. Oh man, that's just a nice feeling on the throat. But anyways, yeah, it was a really, really weird, a really, really awkward time of my life, I guess you could say, because you know, just when I was getting comfortable at staying in one location and finally making a solid group of friends, my mom or my dad would just be like, yo, Mark, we're moving again next month. We're going to be moving to this town, which is 30 minutes away because of this reason and this reason. And to be honest with you, it was weird. It was tough. And I don't know, some people didn't really understand, you know, as a child, you don't really understand why you move so much because, you know, whether it's your parents' reasons or whatever reason it may be, it was just not something that I was used to. And well, actually at first I wasn't used to it, but then I kind of understood that my dad had to move because of his job. So I made do with what I could do. And, you know, I tried my hardest to make friends anyways. You know, obviously I did have some best friends. My first ever best friend was when I was in Massachusetts. His name was Billy, and he actually lived down the road. I met him the first day that we moved in because he went on the same bus as me, and I think this was back in probably around 2nd or 3rd grade. I knew Billy for, and you know, like it was really, really good because when I actually met Billy, we moved around the same area to 2 different houses, but it was really, really lucky because we actually had the same school district. So I got to go through, or I got to you know, meet Billy and get to know him a lot better than I would have if we had moved to a completely different school district. So that was literally, I don't know why I remember that, but you know, obviously you're gonna remember who your first best friend is, and that was he was the first person that I, you know, actually got to know on a deeper level than just, you know, maintaining a solid friendship. So I don't know why, man. It was a very, very hard struggle, but you know, at the end of the day, I think that moving that many times actually kind of shaped me to be the way that I am, because without moving that much, you know, my social skills probably would not have improved as much as they did. You know, I was kind of forced to be a little bit more out there, a little bit more outgoing, because if I didn't, then I'd have no friends, and obviously school without friends is kind of a very, very, very boring time. So I kind of just made it, I made a full effort to it, to kind of just be a little bit more open and try to introduce myself to as many people as I can. Now guys, do note, I'm not gonna say anything terrible here, but I was terrible at making friends at first. I was literally, you know, one of those very, very shy kids. I was just terrible at it. But then I just told myself at the end of the day, if I did not do that, if I did not step out of my comfort zone and actually, you know, start to try to introduce myself to other people, then no one was gonna do it. Like, no one was gonna do that, and no one was gonna really introduce themselves to me. So I had to do it, and I had to take the initiative. Otherwise, I just would have had no friends, you know? Like, that's literally what I had to go through. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about, and you know, and this is kind of the portion of where I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of advice. So before we continue, let me take a little sip right there. Anyways, whether or not you guys are in the same situation as I am, whether or not you guys are, you know, staying in one location, or maybe you guys are moving just as much as I did when I was young, I'm gonna tell you guys to be outgoing as possible, especially when you're young, when it comes to meeting people. Now, from my experience, I can tell you that, fourth graders, third graders, even, maybe even middle schoolers up until high school are pretty open to meeting and learning about new people and making new friends until you reach high school levels, like kind of when the weird adolescent teenage years come and it's kind of just really, really weird, where some people are kind of really standoffish and don't want to meet new people. But I mean, hey, that's another problem that we'll tackle in another episode. But if you guys are young, and even if you want to, even if you're in high school right now, try your hardest to, maybe introduce yourself to another person every other day, because you know what? Maybe there's a person out there who is struggling to make some friends, and you're going to be his very, very first best friend in that location if they're a new student. So, it's a lot easier said than done, obviously, but if you guys put an obvious effort to it, it's going to be a lot easier. You guys are just going to have a better time. And obviously, if you're that one person that introduces yourself to the shy kid, they'll always remember you. Regardless of whether or not you guys are going to be best friends, they'll always remember you for trying. And, they'll always have you as, somebody that they can go to in that sort of scenario. So, I don't know. I really had trouble at first when I was kind of moving around as much as I was having a lot of trouble, like, just meeting new people. But at the end of the day, I decided to myself, I was just like, you know what, Mark, let's just do it. Let's just meet new people. And I kind of just skyrocketed and went from there. But that's kind of my story about how I moved over almost 15 times as a child and how hard it made my life. But at the end of the day, I think it was for the better, because I learned more about myself and I was a little bit more open to talking to a lot of people. So it actually helped me out at the end of the day, years down the line, because I would say I'm a pretty sociable person when it comes to meeting new people. So it definitely helped me out. But guys, I hope you enjoyed today's story time. If you guys did, make sure you guys hit that like button for us and come play on play.arcadianmc.com, a very fantastic server. And Prison is just so relaxing, man. I can tell you guys stories and just relax and mine forever. It's such a relaxing server. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, and if you guys have future suggestions for story time, leave it down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. This is DField. We'll see you guys next time.